Today I wanted to talk to you guys about squinting. If you have ever had a relevant art class, you have heard the word squint. Squinting is a super powerful tool. Now, drawing is complicated. Drawing is a beautiful discipline, but at the same time, there's only a few concepts that you have to understand to be a good draftsman, okay? A lot of these concepts become significantly easier to figure out through squinting. Now, don't fight it. It might feel a little silly at the beginning to squint, but it is magical. Now, the problem that a lot of us have when we start drawing is that we have these preconceptions, okay? Our mind, our brain thinks that, even though it's very much aware that we don't know how to draw, it still thinks that it knows better when it comes to drawing. It thinks that it knows how things should look, and every time we're trying to actually look at something and translate it and make it look really cool and really real, it's going to be judging and second guessing everything that we're trying to do. Now, this is not helpful. And as a teacher, I find that a lot of the things that I do is help people shut that off. Help them actually concentrate in what they're looking at and do what they see. That is so much easier said than done. Squinting helps you to deconstruct reality. Squinting helps you to read light in a different way. One of the most important, basic, unescapable concepts that you need to wrap your head around when it comes to drawing is value relationship. Now, what are values? Values is your scale of light to dark. Your lightest lights, your darkest darks, and everything in between. Now, understanding value relationship is going to make it possible for you to explain light effect. The scales of value in real life are always going to be immensely bigger than the scale of a gray scale. So in order to translate something that makes the spectator think that it looks real, you have to know how to compress your values. Well, when you think that drawing reality, drawing realism is about explaining everything, you would actually be surprised at the fact that the better paintings and the better drawings are kind of about the opposite. They're about losing a lot. And why is this? Because we glance at the world more than we see it, whether you're aware of it or not. So in order to learn how to draw properly, you have to learn how to read this suggestion of nature, this impression of nature. You want to learn how to draw form, you want to learn how to draw a line, you want to learn how to be accurate with your information. This kind of training, and I'm referring to academic training, to classical training, allows you to create a connection between your brain and your eye and your hand that is amazing. It equips you, it gives you the tools, it gives you the skills to be able to take your art however you want your art to look, to a whole different level, an intentional level, where you are actually producing what you want to produce, what you're actually getting your work to look like you want it to look. And that, for me, it's priceless. Squinting is a fantastic tool to get there faster, to enjoy the process. Now, what happens when you squint? When you squint, reality changes. Like what you were, all the details and all the stuff that you were able to see before that you wanted to focus on, hopefully you're squinting enough that they're gone. Now, what do you see? And that is the trick right there. That is when you understand the purpose of it and it's not silly anymore. Squinting offers you a new reality. It transforms those preconceptions into shapes, into big shapes of light and dark. What are those shapes? Hopefully, you will see how much cooler, how much more dynamic, how much more poetic, how much more convincing the drawings come along when you learn how to actually read what's in front of you without letting your brain get in the way, telling you to second guess yourself or second guess what you're seeing. This is a lifetime of practice to shut down that voice and be able to, understand what's happening in front of you. Squinting also is a fantastic shortcut to understanding line quality. And line quality, whatever you're doing, it's going to be an unbelievably beautiful way to explain form with line, even though that I know sounds like an oxymoron. But you have a range of line just like you have a range of value, okay? So I don't know about you, if you have had a good teacher, you have probably talked about this before, but I didn't hear about line quality until I started seriously training as a draftsman. And I'm shocked because it's everything. Okay, line quality creates the movement, the poetry in your painting, in your drawing. It allows you to not only create form but also to direct the eye of your spectator exactly how you want it to move through your painting. My students are probably going to crack up when they see this because every single time I come to critique their drawings, the first thing out of my mouth is squint. Because if you forget to squint, you are immediately making it harder for yourself to understand what you're trying to draw. You squint, you automatically make it easier. And if you get really good at obeying your squinting and understanding what's happening when you squint and what you see, your drawings are gonna start to come out really quick and really good and really accurate and really cool. I mean, basically. But it's important, and I was talking about that today with a lot of my students. It's important to wait to understand what you're seeing when you're squinting. So when you're squinting, as I said before, a new reality is like revealed. The shapes, the ideas of what you wanted to draw, they are not the same anymore, and that is what you're looking for. Don't that is right there the challenge. For example, you imagine you're drawing a portrait and the portrait has like very heavy shadows on the side and you lose an eye completely. You squint and you just cannot see the eye, okay? You don't have to draw that eye. That is what squinting is telling you. Squinting is begging you, lose that eye, lose the information in that eye. And your brain, and I say this through from many years of helping people break out of these bad habits, your brain is gonna want to tell you, no, you need that eye, you need the eyelid, you need to draw the little almond shape thing, and you don't. Now, if you get good at obeying your squinting and listening, then you'll have a really good time and your drawings are gonna come out really strong, but it takes a minute. It takes a minute at the beginning. It takes a minute to find that certainty. It takes awareness to get to the point where you are accepting these concepts and doing what you have to do. And when I say that it takes a minute, it not only refers to the fact that it was going to take a lot of trial and error to understand it. It also means that when you're drawing, when you're starting to draw and you're trying to do a good job, expect to look more or like or same whatever you want to do. Expect to look more than you draw. If you keep rushing yourself, you are going to make bad decisions. If you rush yourself, like for example, you're looking at a reference, you're looking at a drawing, you're squinting, and you're like, okay, something is wrong here. The first thing that is going to come to your mind, most likely, is going to be an assumption of what you think it's wrong. Don't do that. Don't go for the first thought of what you assume is wrong. Even if it's like, okay, the nose looks too big, fair enough. The nose might be too big, but where? You need to give yourself time to figure that out. And that comes with time. And most importantly, with intention. When you find what's wrong with your drawing, you feel it in your gut. You know that you have found an issue. And that issue usually refers to things like an angle, a relationship, a proportion, and not a feature. So, for example, if you're thinking, tip of the nose needs to go up, rethink that. An angle needs to go up. A moment of contrast needs to change. A proportion, let's say from here to here, is not looking correct. But if it has the name of something in specific, in my experience, it might be trouble. So try to find objective information that is as simple as an angle, a plane shift, something that is not a preconception. Just squint. 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 It's going to help you so much if you actually take this into consideration. Thank you so much for stopping by and watching. Don't forget to follow and share and like. And I'll be back next week with some more advice. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you put this into practice. And remember, I am available for lessons in person in Colorado, both in Boulder and in Longmont. And online, you can summon me for a quick critique through my link Book a Critique at my website, artedmcolorado.com. Bye.